The Denver Broncos are solidifying their secondary. They are solidifying their cornerback group with Kyle Fuller, who is returning to play with his old defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. The main weakness of the Denver Broncos defense in 2020 was their cornerback play. Not only did they just not have a lot of talent, but they also had a lot of injuries. Now in 2021, their main priority in free agency has been signing talent at the corner position. They now have one of the best trios in the NFL when you look at it. They signed Ronald Darby already this offseason that I thought was an underrated ad who played very well in Washington last year. They have Bryce Callahan, who's one of the best nickel corners in the NFL. And now they have another guy from Chicago who is Kyle Fuller. Kyle Fuller has been a Pro Bowler 2 of the last 3 years. He was an All-Pro in 2018. And I didn't really think he deserved to be a Pro Bowler in 2019, as he did have a down year. He allowed a 70% completion percentage on the year. But he played a lot better in 2020, in my opinion. The lone year that he wasn't a Pro Bowler. So it's interesting. But he allowed under a 90 passer rating. He allowed just a 55% completion percentage. So he is a good corner. We've seen him play in a majority of different defenses and coverages, but of course he's played at his best with Vic Fangio. So a lot of what Vic Fangio likes to do, his primary coverage of choice is quarters defense. And I think that's what he's going to be doing in Denver a lot of the time. And I think that it's an obvious fit. He has recognition with the defense. He has a very just good understanding of the concepts and what he's expecting. And I think he provides probably a number one corner. You know, I don't think he's like a top 10 corner, but he's probably a top 20 corner in the NFL. So that's good, right? If you're looking at it from Denver's perspective, they haven't had great corner play really since like Chris Harris and Aqib Talib were in their prime. And then Chris Harris left them last year, and Aqib Talib obviously, left them long ago. And they've been searching to regain that depth in the corners since that point. And I think finally they have their best cornerback group and depth chart since that time. And you look at how they're going to be able to pair their coverage with their pass rush in 2021, and you have to think that the Broncos are going to be one of the best defenses in the NFL in 2021. If Von Miller is staying, which it appears he is after the restructure, Bradley Chubb can get healthy, and you re-sign Shelby Harris, you already had a good defensive front that's strong versus the run. You get that pass rusher back in Von Miller. As good as he might be anymore, we're not quite sure. You retain Justin Simmons, Kareem Jackson, not really sure what's going on there. But overall, the Broncos pretty much have no holes on defense. They've got a strong pass rush, a strong run defense, a much better cornerback group, a much better coverage unit. And I'm looking at Denver as an elite defense in 2021 after these moves that they've made this offseason. Fuller, good number one corner who's capable of taking on number one wide receivers. He's not a shutdown man-to-man player. He is comfortable more in zone coverage, but he is very good in that role, and he will be very productive for this team. I would expect borderline Pro Bowl level play with Vic Fangio's defense in 2021 from Fuller. So now you have your number one corner, your number two corner in Darby, and your nickel corner in Bryce Callahan. Remember, I did ask the question, was Darby going to be the number one? Because I wasn't super comfortable in that. But as a number two, now I'm much more confident. So now you have, not necessarily elite perimeter corners, but very good perimeter corners and a very good nickel corner. So that's just awesome. I really like the way the Broncos are building this team. If you look at it, you're a quarterback away from being a legitimate team, a legitimate contender, a legitimate threat in the AFC. A quarterback away. You don't have that many holes anymore. You've done what you can. You've built a solid team. Broncos fans, let me know how you feel. Do you feel the same way? Do you feel the Broncos are just a quarterback away? Or do you think there are other elements of this roster that they need to add? Also, let me know what you think of Kyle Fuller in Denver.